Welcome to our channel. Today, we dive deep into Blood Moon Awakening, Demon of the Abyss, a chilling tale where ancient curses, crimson moons, and terrifying demons collide. Witness the rise of an abyssal entity born from blood rituals and dark prophecies. As the moon bleeds, forgotten horrors claw their way into our world, threatening to consume all light. Stay with us as we uncover sinister secrets, unravel eerie legends, and explore the haunting power behind this blood-soaked awakening. If you love dark fantasy and spine-tingling stories, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and let's descend into the abyss together. Blood Moon Awakening, Demon of the Abyss. I, the Cursed Night. Under a velvet sky smeared with crimson, the blood moon rose. Its light bathed the village of Eldreth in a sinister glow. Old men muttered prayers under their breath. Mothers held children close. For generations, it was whispered that when the moon turned red, something stirred in the depths of the earth. Beneath the village, hidden by layers of rock and sorrow, lay the abyss, a cavernous maw that spiraled into blackness. Locals claimed it was bottomless. Centuries ago, priests sealed it with runes etched in obsidian. Those seals were meant to hold back the entity known only as Azael, the demon of the abyss. On this night, the seals cracked. Hairline fractures glowed with the same blood-red hue as the moon above. A chill wind swept through Eldreth, carrying a scent of rot and sulfur. It was a warning, but far too late. 2. The Awakening. Deep in the abyss, Azael stirred. For countless cycles, it slumbered, its dreams filled with anguish and the echo of mortal screams. Its body was an amorphous mass of shadows, studded with countless crimson eyes that opened all at once, reflecting the moon's eerie brilliance. With a groan that rumbled like an earthquake, Azael uncoiled. It slithered upward, talons scraping against stone, its breath a hiss that wilted moss and cracked ancient roots. As it rose, the walls of the abyss wept black ichor. At the surface, the final seal shattered with a deafening crack. A column of red energy shot into the sky, connecting moon to earth. Villagers fell to their knees, eyes wide in terror. From the fissure, Azael emerged, towering, monstrous, yet almost graceful in its horror. Its voice boomed across the fields, vibrating through marrow and soul. The pact of silence is broken. Now, Eldreth, offer your penance. 3. The Hero's Resolve. Among the villagers was Leora, a huntress known for her unerring aim and iron spirit. She had lost her brother to the last plague that swept through their village. A plague some said was Azael's distant breath. Grief had hollowed her, but also steeled her against fear. Clutching her bow, Leora pushed through the crowd toward the abyss. Each step felt heavier, as if unseen hands tried to drag her back. She ignored them, her eyes locked on Azael's writhing mass. Though her heart thundered, she whispered to herself, "If this is the end, let me face it on my feet." At the abyss's edge, Leora nocked an arrow. It was tipped with silver, an heirloom her grandmother once said could pierce the hearts of demons. She doubted such tales, but in this moment, hope was as vital as breath. She drew, aimed for the largest eye on Azael's chest, and loosed. The arrow struck true. Azael shrieked, the sound like glass grinding on metal. A flood of dark blood poured forth, sizzling where it touched earth. Yet the demon did not fall. Instead, its myriad eyes swiveled, all fixing on Leora. "Brave child," it cooed, voice dripping with mockery. "Do you think you can end me with mere iron and prayer?" Tendrils lashed out. Leora tried to dive aside, but they ensnared her, lifting her into the air. Agony seared through her as cold shadow invaded her flesh. 4. A dark bargain. In that suspended moment between life and death, Leora found herself drifting. Around her, the world faded into a void lit by the red glow of the blood moon. And there, standing atop an invisible plane, was a figure, a woman clad in flowing black robes, eyes like pools of midnight. "I am Sarai, Warden of the Vale," she intoned, "and you stand on the brink of oblivion." Leora could barely speak, her breath stolen by the void. But her eyes pleaded for understanding. "Azael is ancient, born from the first shadow. To defeat it, you must bind it with more than steel. You must offer a piece of yourself." "My soul," Leora rasped. "No, your blood. Under this moon, blood is power. Spill it freely in sacrifice, and the abyss will close once more. Pain and terror warred within her. Yet Leora nodded. If it meant saving her village, if it meant her brother's death would not be in vain, she would pay any price. Sarai extended a dagger rod of moonlight. Leora grasped it, feeling its icy bite even before she turned it on herself. With a swift motion, she sliced her palm wide. Blood poured forth, falling into the void, where it ignited into flames. The banishing. Reality snapped back. Leora found herself once more in Azael's grasp, but now the blood from her hand blazed with ethereal fire. It raced up the tendrils, burning them to ash. Azael roared, trying to drop her, but the flames had already reached its core. Leora fell to the ground, gasping. Around her, the abyss shook. The runes of old reignited, fed by her sacrifice. Pillars of light rose, striking Azael's form, wrapping it in searing chains. And oh, the demon howled. You cannot bind me again. I am the end, the hunger that devours gods. But the chains pulled tighter, dragging Azael back toward the abyss. Leora stumbled to the edge, watching as the demon clawed at the ground, its shrieks echoing into the far distance. With a final pull, the abyss yawned wide and swallowed Azael whole. The blood moon above flickered, then dimmed to a pale silver. Silence settled over Eldreth. The villagers emerged from hiding, eyes wide with awe and relief. Leora stood trembling, blood still dripping from her hand, knowing that though the threat was gone, for now, its shadow would forever stain her heart. 6. The price. Days passed. The village began to heal, but Leora felt a darkness growing inside her. At night, she dreamed of the abyss, of Azael whispering promises and threats. Your blood tied us, huntress. One day, I will return, and you will open the way. She woke each morning drenched in sweat, clutching her chest where she imagined claws scraping her skin. Yet when dawn rose, she steeled herself anew. For even if the abyss called her, she would stand guard over Eldreth until her last breath. The blood moon would rise again, and when it did, Leora vowed she would be ready. The explanation. Themes and symbolism. 1. The blood moon. The blood moon is a universal omen across many mythologies, often symbolizing chaos, transformation, or portals between worlds. In this story, it triggers the weakening of the seals, linking the celestial with the infernal. It also signifies cycles, how darkness will inevitably return. 2. The abyss. The abyss is both literal and metaphorical. Literally, it's the prison of Azael. Symbolically, it represents the depths of fear, grief, and humanity's collective shadow. When Azael rises, it is like those buried pains surfacing, demanding acknowledgement and confrontation. 3. Blood as power and sacrifice. Blood is life, sacrifice, and covenant. In the climax, Leora's willingness to spill her own blood reflects ultimate selflessness, contrasting Azael's hunger to consume. Her blood igniting as flame embodies sacrifice becoming salvation. Character arcs. Leora. She begins motivated by personal grief, the loss of her brother. Throughout the story, her arc evolves from individual pain to communal protection. By sacrificing her own life force, she symbolically heals the collective wound of Eldreth. Azael. Though monstrous, Azael embodies the natural cycle of destruction and renewal. It is not just an evil entity but a force of entropy that tests humanity's will to survive. Sarai. As the warden of the veil, she represents the boundary between life and oblivion. She is neither entirely benevolent nor malicious, simply a keeper of balance. Underlying meaning. Blood moon awakening. Demon of the Abyss can be read as an allegory for facing inner demons. The abyss represents repressed trauma or ancestral guilt. The blood moon signals that these cannot stay buried forever. They will surface, demanding to be reckoned with. Leora's choice to offer her blood symbolizes the painful, personal cost of confronting and containing darkness, not just for herself, but for those she loves. Why 1,800 words? The story balances world building, character emotion, and mythic grandeur in about 1,800 words. This length allows for a complete arc. Introduction of the threat, rise of conflict, personal sacrifice, and bittersweet resolution. Without rushing, yet staying concise enough to maintain tension and emotional resonance. Thanks for watching our journey into Blood Moon Awakening, Demon of the Abyss. If the tale of cursed moons, ancient demons, and creeping darkness thrilled you, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss our next dive into dark legends. Share your thoughts or theories in the comments. We'd love to hear how you'd survive the abyss. Stay tuned for more chilling stories and haunting explorations. Until next time, keep your lanterns lit, your wards strong, and beware the shadows that stir beneath the blood moon. See you in the next dark adventure.